Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are Angel City Products Incorporated, part of World 16, and we are Company 1. First, let me introduce you to our company. I am Sharafuddin Odusaya, the marketing manager. Brian Laura is the manager of production. Warren Ellis is the finance manager. And our accounting managers are Brittany Tostado and Paula Diaz.
We've prepared our presentation on 4 topics: management changes, our current position compared to our 2-year plan, getting out of debt, and the future of Angel City Products. Angel City Products went through a transitional period where our original CEO, Ashley Davis, fell ill and could no longer perform her duties. Paula Diaz became the interim CEO during this transitional period before being replaced by our current CEO, Richard Washington, who was voted in by the board of directors. He attended USC, has a Bachelor of Science and a Master's degree in Business Administration. He's the regional manager for Apple's Southern California division, and he owns his own consulting group known as Washington Consulting Group. Now to introduce our marketing strategies, here's Sharafa.
I will now discuss the marketing strategy for Angel City Products. My job was to determine the price and the advertising strategy for our company. During years 5 and 6, we noticed a couple of trends that was from companies 3 and 4. We noticed that at the end of year 5, they decreased their prices drastically, forcing us to decrease our prices slightly. We believe we were able to do so because of our such low unit production costs, which really wouldn't hurt our profits because our costs were so low. As you can see, towards the end of year 5, we had to decrease our pricing to $10.49. Another reason why we had to decrease our pricing was because of our slow releases of our new models. We felt that we could not sell Models 3 at the same price levels as other companies were selling Models 4 and 5. Therefore, we had to decrease our prices. Now we'll discuss the advertising strategy. Generally speaking, our advertising expenses stayed pretty consistent from what we planned in our 2-year plan. But we were able to free up some funds in other areas to slightly increase our advertising. During year 6, quarter 2, our advertising helped increase our market share from 6.7% to 7.8%. Now I will discuss our market share. During our 2-year plan, we planned on having a 12% market share by the end of year 6. In actuality, our market share ended up at around 7%. During year 4, our market share was 15%. During year 5, it was between 7 and 8%. And at the end of year 6, it was around 7%. We believe that 3 key reasons affected our market share. One was the consumer confidence. Generally speaking, customers do not want to purchase products from companies that are not doing well financially. Another reason was advertising. We couldn't really compete with we didn't have the advantage in advertising because we did not have enough profit to invest into advertising. The final reason and most important reason for our decline in market share was the fact that our model releases were slower than our competitors.
In our 2-year projection, we predicted that we would not purchase any bonds, that we would issue 400 units of stock, that we would buy 400 units of stock worth approximately $320,000, and that we would not purchase any certificates of deposit. What actually occurred was that we did not purchase any stock in either year 5 or 6. We issued 500 bonds were purchased in year 6, quarter 4, and 2,500 certificates of deposit were purchased in year 6, quarter 4. And our bank loans were repaid in year 5, quarter 3. In year 6, quarter 3, we purchased $500,000 worth of bonds in conjunction with $2.5 million worth of certificates of deposit. Now here to talk about operation and production strategies is Brian Laura.
Hello, my name is Brian Laura and I am the manager of production and scheduling at Angel City Products. Within our company, it is my responsibility to produce and distribute our products to all 3 of our distribution centers, as well as schedule the amount of products we should produce in order to satisfy consumer demands. Unit production costs. When discussing unit production costs, many factors need to be considered, such as the cost per unit produced, the amount of labor put into finalizing each product, and how many employees we will need to produce the products demanded. Results show that as of the end of our 6th year in business, we have managed to attain the second lowest unit production cost in the industry, the highest being $4.84 and the lowest being $3.74, which means we're 16 cents away from achieving the lowest production cost in our industry altogether. Production in Nystock. Since moving to Nystock, we have managed to gain a competitive edge in our industry because we produce our units at a lower cost. This enables us to generate profits quicker and meet a lower break-even point. We anticipate our UPC to decrease and continue to decrease, and we hope to maintain this competitive edge in our industry. Here's a chart demonstrating our unit production costs at the end of year 6 as well as our competitors. As you can see, Company 4 earned the lowest UPC at $3.74, and we were right behind them, as you can see right here, Company 1 at $3.90. It's a drastic change, as you can see, from the highest UPC at $4.84. Now I want to introduce you to Brittany Tostado, who is going to discuss our financial performance.
My name is Brittany Tostado. I'm co-manager of accounting. I'll be explaining the financials for income statement of year 6. Our net sales to customers were off by 68% of what we were expecting. We expected to sell $14,056,000, and our actual results in sales were $8,353,000. And that was because we were a model behind from our competitors, and it was really hard to compete with the market with newer products. Our advertising expense was off by 9.5% of what we expected. And we had to increase our advertising expense because since our sales were low, we had to promote our product more since we were behind a model. An area where we fell behind was net profit before tax. Our net profit before tax was estimated to be $3,146,000, and we actually resulted with negative $220,000 as profit. And that was actually because our expenses exceeded our sales. And here you'll see the return on equity on the industry, the ratio. As you can see, our biggest competitor was Company 6, and here we fell in negatives from year 3 to year 5. And we picked up our equity in year 6. And here is our actual result for return on equity compared with the industry. Compared with the industry, we landed in last place with a negative 8.77% of our equity. And our biggest competitor, of course, was Team 6 with 21.76%. Now I'll be introducing our other co-manager of accounting, Paula Diaz. She'll be explaining our balance sheet and our year 7 results.
Hello, I'm Paula Diaz, and I'm co-manager of accounting. Now, looking at our balance sheet for year 6, a consolidated one, and we compare it to the projected to the actual figures, we do see that there's some variance. Here we have the main points of current, fixed, long-term, and total liabilities, as well as total assets and equity. We have our biggest gap in the current assets, which is of 67.91%, and our smallest gap in long-term liabilities, which is of 10%. Going into further details, we can see that our cash was overestimated by 67.91%. This is due to the higher expected sales. We also had a sale of a plant in Area 1. This decreased our amount in plant by 55.83% and equipment by 29.27%. Due to these funds that were made available to us, we were able to invest in certificates of deposits. This was of $2.5 million. We also had an underestimate amount in inventory. That was of 71.13%. This was due also to not being able to reach our targets in sales. So we had more than what we expected to be left over. We also have our tax payable, which was overestimated by 67.57%, and this was because we did expect higher net income. Our accounts payable stood within 4% of what was projected, as well as our capital stock. We did have a 10% repurchase of outstanding bonds. Looking at to our ROAs, we do see that in the beginning of year 3, we were in negatives. This is a result of our negative net income. Unfortunately, in year 4, went a little deeper and created a greater gap there. But as you can see, towards the end of the term, we started to recuperate it in year 5. We made a drastic change there, a vast improvement, and also that continued on in year 6. In comparison to the industry, we do see that within year 3 and year 4, we were ahead of company 2. Unfortunately, we're not able to sustain that, and although we did improve by the end of year 5, we were still in negatives. Now to discuss our statement of cash flow, Brittany Tostado.
I'll be explaining the cash flow statements for year 6. Our operating expense was 6% less than what we expected, which was a positive for our company because we were already in negatives in our profit at end of year 6. Our company did not expect to invest any income on financing investments, and our pro forma statement stated that we were gonna invest 0 and resulted in zeros in year 6. In our ending cash balance, we had 50% less than we expected in our performance statements. In our performance statements, we expected cash balance of $6,369,000. For assumptions of year 7, I'll be passing it back to Paula Diaz, our co-manager of accounting.
Thank you, Brittany. For year 7, our main goal will be to increase our market share. We want to achieve this in order to increase our sales and be more profitable. One of our main interests is to invest in R&D. We want to do this to be able to produce newer models at a faster rate. We also want to be able to invest on CDs. We have cash available in that we do want to earn interest on it. We want to buy back some stock. We want to do that in order to increase our equity. And also bonds in order to save ourselves some money on the bond interest expense. Due to the fact that we did lose some employees, we do want to hire new ones in order to increase our productivity and be more efficient.
This concludes our final presentation for Angel City Products Incorporated. We plan to keep the momentum from year 6 and continue it on until year 7 in the future of our company. Have a nice day.
Thank you.